The past few weeks have been a bit rough for people holding out hopes for Mother 3 being released worldwide. Between it being added to the Japanese Nintendo Switch Online application during February 2024's Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase with no mention of an international release in sight, the creator of the series coming forward and revealing that Mother 3's fate is out of their control and entirely up to Nintendo, and most recently, Nintendo taking unprecedented action against Mother 3 by region-locking Nintendo Switch user icons featuring sprites from the game exclusively to Japanese accounts. This is notable since this is the first instance of icons being exclusive to a specific region. Granted, they did a bit of a shitty job region-locking them, and for those persistent enough, it is possible to obtain them outside of Japan, but that doesn't change the fact that not releasing them worldwide was a deliberate, calculated decision. As a result of this, a lot of fans have fully resigned into believing that Mother 3 will never be localized, and that Nintendo will simply continue to pretend the game doesn't exist outside of Japan. Well, do I agree that these factors seal Mother 3's fate? As one of the greatest video games ever made, locked away by a company that seemingly resents its existence? Well, in short, no. But if you care to hear me explain myself and why I feel this way, stick around. Full disclosure, I am an optimist almost to a fault. I could get hit by a car or something, and rationalize it as, well, at least it wasn't a Kia Soul. To me, there's always something worse that can happen, and I tend to believe that the best outcome will generally be the one that comes to pass. I'm usually wrong, but that's yet to dampen my spirits. With this in mind, I don't think it comes as any surprise when I say I don't think any recent events have any bearing on Mother 3's fate. Let's start with the most recent event, and maybe the biggest one, the icon fiasco. Many people see Mother 3's icons being exclusive to Japan as a definitive sign that we will never see Mother 3 elsewhere, but I don't follow that train of thought at all. If anything, I think we'd be in much more dire straits should we've gotten the Mother 3 icons worldwide, simultaneous with the Japanese release. If Nintendo were planning to release Mother 3 worldwide in the nearish future, why would they release these icons underneath its Japanese name, instead of its hypothetical, at the time, unannounced, localized name? Nintendo is fully aware of the almost universal desire for Mother 3 to be localized. So if they wanted to avoid the backlash to region locking the icons, then I fully expected them to just drop them worldwide. They have literally no reason not to, after all. It's just PNGs, and it would have required no alterations to sprites. It would have been far easier to just release them worldwide, since as well as preventing the harsh online response, it would have prevented the reveal of a humongous bug in the icon making software. In the first few hours of the Mother 3 icons being released, if someone from outside of Japan were to obtain the icons by changing the region on their Nintendo account to Japan, buy them, and then switch it back to the region in which they actually reside, the icon software would just shit the bed. This bug would lock users from making any new icons, presumably a result of the Mother 3 icons not existing in application versions that aren't Japanese. They eventually fixed this issue, which now allows affected users to make new icons, including the questionably obtained Mother 3 ones. But doesn't this seem like a lot of effort to keep people outside of Japan from obtaining these? The only reason I could possibly see Nintendo locking these icons away is if they have something planned in the future. I know some people are saying that, oh, it's just Nintendo being petty, but I would like to point out the fact that this is a company whose actions are dictated by dozens of different people. There is no John Nintendo who has the end-all be-all ruling on matters. And while we may not currently know the specific reasoning behind Mother 3's international absence, I think acting like there's some kind of vendetta against this game at the company is ridiculous. Mother 3 wasn't released internationally in 2006 due to the Game Boy Advance's successor already being out. Nintendo probably didn't want to invest the capital to localize a game that would likely underperform due to being on an outdated console, nonetheless being a sequel to a game that underperformed a decade earlier. Speaking with Bloomberg, former president of Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, was asked about Mother 3 and if the reason behind its absence was due to the more mature subject matter of the game. Reggie responded with, "That is not at all the issue why Mother 3 in particular never made it to the West. It was all based on the business needs and the business situation at the time." Based on other interviews with Reggie where he confirms that very serious discussions were happening during the 3DS and Wii U era to bring Mother 3 overseas, we can deduce that it really came down to Mother 3 not being a piece of software that would push console sales. Nintendo during this time was floundering, so they needed to focus all efforts towards making games that would make a casual consumer want to buy their systems. As you can imagine, Mother 3 isn't that kind of game. All the people who'd be interested in Mother 3 being localized likely already owned a Nintendo system. Earthbound is a series that, at the time, only super hardcore Nintendo fans were aware of. Nintendo clearly knew this based on how Earthbound Beginnings was announced during the 2015 Nintendo World Championships, an event that was geared towards their more hardcore audience. Imagine explaining to investors that your company is having its worst financial crisis ever, but at the same time you're actively funding projects that aren't going to help drag it out of financial hell. There isn't some ban on this game internally, there isn't a vendetta against it. It's just that anytime a prime opportunity to have the game localized arises, it happens to be when they can't financially justify it. If the Earthbound series, and Mother 3 in particular, were some sore subject, I don't think that they would have treated Earthbound's re-release on Wii U or Switch as a big deal. I don't think that they would have allowed Lucas to be brought back as DLC for Smash 4, and I definitely don't think that they would have allowed Mother 1 to finally see an official worldwide release. Since I'm already discussing it, I feel the need to address why Earthbound Beginnings release is somewhat significant when it comes to Mother 3. I understand that Mother 3 and Beginnings are wildly different cases. Mother 3 has never had an official localization effort as far as we're aware, whereas Earthbound Beginnings has been finished and sitting in Nintendo's vault since the 90s. However, it's important to note that the international release of Earthbound Beginnings, to me at the very least, seems to disprove a widely discussed point when it comes to Mother 3's chances at localization. Many people have said that Nintendo doesn't want to localize Mother 3 due to the fan translation's existence, and that anyone who wants to play Mother 3 already has, therefore they wouldn't buy an official release. This is a very popular point of discussion, and I would like to point out the fact that it makes no damn sense whatsoever, especially with the hindsight of Earthbound Beginnings in mind. Earthbound Beginnings was in a very similar set of circumstances prior to its official release. A prototype of the localization appeared and was dumped online in the early 2000s, and it quickly became a staple for the emulation scene, much like Mother 3. Do you see the problem here? Mother 3 isn't the only entry in the Mother series that's been widely pirated. All of the games are, and that didn't discourage them from re-releasing Earthbound or finally releasing Beginnings. Once again, I would like to reiterate the fact that I am aware that Mother 3 is in a very different set of circumstances when compared to its predecessors. While Earthbound and Beginnings required little to no work to be put out beyond legal clearance, Mother 3 would require months of work by translators and programmers to bring it stateside, alongside the aforementioned legal situation. That still doesn't mean the fan translation's wide circulation and use is the reason behind its absence. If we're going by that reasoning, then why doesn't Nintendo shelve any game that leaks early? Or why the heck do they even bother using access to their retro catalog of games as an incentive for their online service? Piracy will forever be a problem for game devs and publishers. But I think time and time again, fans have proven that they will turn out for an official release, and that it's something that they're interested in supporting. More than anything, I think that beyond hardcore Mother fans, many people outside of that circle would purchase an official release of Mother 3 out of sheer curiosity. Despite our best efforts to theorize and speculate on why Mother 3's been held back, we have very little definitive facts surrounding its exact situation. However, if we're going based on Reggie's previous statements that the game's been held back due to inopportune business situations, I'd like to point out the fact that Nintendo's doing better now than ever. The Switch is on the road to become the #1 best-selling video game console of all time, and they're officially the richest company in Japan. Furthermore, as of late, Nintendo's been shown to be releasing more and more games from obscure series under their umbrella. Advance Wars 1 and 2 both got full-fledged remakes. Endless Ocean has an entirely new entry on its way with the recently announced Endless Ocean Luminous. Another Code 1 and 2 both also got fully fledged remakes. Fucking Famicom Detective Club 1 and 2 did too. Tell me now, which of these has a better chance of performing well financially? An official release of a highly requested title in a series with an established international fan base, or Famicom Detective Club remakes? I don't think I need to answer it for you. Nintendo clearly has more money than they know what to do with. So why are we collectively acting like there's no chance they finally decide to throw the budget towards a Mother 3 localization? The final point I'd like to discuss regards its recent re-release on Japanese Nintendo Switch accounts. Many people have said it being released there but not elsewhere simultaneously spells its end, but I don't think that there's any truth in that statement. Look at Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, right? It was an entry that used to not be available worldwide and was thrown onto the Japanese NSO app with not a lot of fanfare as of March 2019. But it was then made available worldwide for the first time with a full translation available for separate purchase as of December 2020 in celebration of the Fire Emblem series' 30th anniversary. You want to know what game series has its 35th anniversary this year? I'm not going to sit here and try to get anyone's hopes up for an official release of Mother 3. Truth be told, it's been an uphill battle since day one. There are several factors holding this entry back from being released worldwide. However, I don't think resigning to a depressed stupor is the right way to respond to the seemingly insurmountable circumstances surrounding the game. Nothing worthwhile comes easy, and if you can't tell, I kinda think Nintendo's in the best position yet to finally allow this masterpiece to be played by the greater gaming community. At the end of the day, I don't think we should give up on Mother 3. The only reason Nintendo even does anything with the series internationally is due to how persistent us Earthbound fans are. Even though fighting for a Mother 3 localization may seem like a fool's errand, no one ever expected Earthbound to get re-released. No one expected them to be making brand new merchandise of the series. No one expected Lucas to return as DLC in Smash 4, and certainly not a soul expected them to officially release Earthbound Beginnings. The only reason any of these things happened is our persistence, our collective desire, our passion for Earthbound. The moment we, the fanbase, give up on Mother 3 is the moment Nintendo gives up on Mother. And I, for one, plan on doing all I can to keep the series in public consciousness. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more stuff like it, maybe consider subscribing so you can see my new videos as I post them. If you didn't like it, please let me know what I can do to improve. See you all next time.